I gotta say, I love your intro, Jacob. It's always just mwah, I love it so much.
I've said it
Thank you.
before, and I
Thank
was
you.
about to say it again. You beat me to it.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
Thank you.
Just perfection.
Mando, I saw you bobbing your head to the music too.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. It's a requirement.
You have to.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
When you know it's great intro music.
So how is everybody this evening? Mando?
Pretty good. Just chilling. Excited to actually be watching something good. I know there's a couple of things that I've been reviewing that are pretty good, and this is now one of them. It's very nice, very refreshing. It just sucks that we have to have an Arkasule on the panel.
Wow.
So it begins.
Oh, it
does.
Much love. For any of you who don't know, I consider Ark my little brother. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Ark. How's it going?
Hi, Jacob. I'm doing all right. How are you?
Not too bad.
Not too
How about
bad.
you, Beard?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to watch whatever is about to go down between these two.
Yeah, me too.
For any of you
The
who
Royal
don't know,
Rumble is
Spirit of
here.
Liberty has never been on a panel with both Arkasule and I, so it's very rare, special treatment.
Oh yeah.
Let's-
Oh yeah. This is gonna
yeah.
be awesome. First of all, we're reviewing a very good movie. I haven't seen this movie in about 10 years. So I was like, I first off, I thank you, Jacob, for having me on again. Thank you for having a great movie to review. It's a classic. And I was thinking, I need to review it again. Like I need to rewatch it. And I just got done rewatching it. Got home from work. I was like, all right, we got the dinner, we got the show, let's go. And there were some parts that I forgot, but it's overall, I would say, just right off the bat, solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Yeah. Let
Yeah,
me
yeah,
say
no,
hello
we
to the
just
chat
agreed.
real quick.
Since we're- Since we're jumping ahead to the end there.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna be
There
quiet
will
for
be
the rest
spoilers.
of the stream. I've already given my review. Like it's just a good it's a good movie. Go watch it. 8 out of 10. I'm gonna mute now.
Oh my god.
Hey there, Corey.
Corey.
It's
There's
wonderful.
Roman dropping by.
What's up,
Hello,
Roman?
sir.
Mister of the Empire.
Yes, we want the misses of the Empire one of these days.
One of these days. Hello there, Corey. What's going on, man?
What's up, Cajun?
So, can everybody see the comments I'm bringing up?
Yes.
Yes.
StreamYard
Well, I
is working
can't.
properly.
There it is.
Yeah, so StreamYard was doing that to me the other day. I was like, I can't see the comments I'm bringing up. What the hell's going on? Yeah, StreamYard
Seems to be seems to be happening to a lot of people lately. I don't know what's going on.
I think is just like, hey, we don't want to work anymore.
Hey there, Ms. Martin.
Hello.
And of course, we have the Gourd King.
Yes,
What's up, man?
Gore King, who is like trying
Highness.
to torture himself watching the Rings of Crap.
Who would do such a thing? Oh my
This
word.
guy, that guy.
I did too. Don't worry about it, Gord King.
Yeah, I got through the first few episodes, and I was gonna do it with Ark. I was gonna review it, and I was just like, I can't. I'm tapping out, man.
I reviewed and I published the first 3 episodes, and they were up for like 8 months. I deleted them off my channel. I was like, it's just I can't. No, gone to the ethos with you. Like just. I don't want to have any memory of it.
Be gone.
And I guess what I'll have to do is, Mando, we're gonna have to power through and just get really drunk and then review the Rings of Power season 1 and 2 at the same time.
Oh,
Yeah.
nightmarish.
Good thing I've got
but-
lots of rum. I've got all of the rum.
Yeah. Why is the rum always gone? Oh, that's why. Rings of
Because I
Power.
keep
That's what
drinking
did
it.
it.
I'm sorry. Yes, Gourd King. What's up, Steven Ransom? How you doing?
Hey,
How you
Steven.
doing?
Hey,
What's
Steve.
up, Steven?
But yeah, for any of you who've never actually seen this movie, it could not be made today. Like
No.
there is no one in today's modern like cinematic whatever that's gonna try and
Who has
remake
the
it.
guts to
Yeah,
make this?
no one's got
That's
guts.
right there, Jacob. That right there. They don't have the guts to make a movie like that. Ever.
Yeah,
Yup.
it's true.
And
If somebody was crazy enough to try, they miscast everything and it would be a disaster.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would say if it wasn't Sidney Poitier in this, they would cancel this movie.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I think even the fact that they might say, "Hey, we're thinking about remaking this movie." Nope. No. Everyone would be angry.
If this was 10 years ago, I think Denzel Washington could have like killed this role.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Denzel, yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then,
but,
like, even saying that and thinking about it, like Denzel has more of like a gritty, powerful performance. Sidney had like he had a powerful performance, yes, but it was like soft spoken.
Yeah.
He heavily relied on that. He was a police officer, and that demanded some respect, and he was protected by law. So that gave him some protection, not complete protection. But I think that Denzel is the closest we could get to someone that could like nail the role as well as what Sidney did.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a weird thing for me because coming off of like hanging out with people talking about Ahsoka, I won't go down that. Let's not get too deep into that. But in dialogue in that show that has these uncomfortably long pauses, this movie does it right. It uses the pauses to set the tension without overacting and or unnecessary dialogue. It lets you sit there and feel it.
It's not I speak
definitely.
a word, I pause, then you speak the word, you pause, then I speak. And it's very much how you naturally talk.
Well, in any pause, it has purpose. And I like that.
A lot of the times when you have the police chief, when he is a part of a scene and there's a long pause, most of the time you're just going to hear him smacking his gum, and that adds to the tension. It's like that's a constant thing with him, and so it's like it's not quiet. It's not like an eerie quiet. It's you've got that annoying smacking that is like, oh well, he's still here. We're still dealing with the chief, and the chief is seeing what's going on in that scene, and maybe Sidney's the one that's dead quiet, examining everything.
And it's used so well sometimes whenever he's just smacking away, and then something is like a revelation is made, and he stops.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
That's how you know it's an actual revelation. Is
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the only way Ark and I are going to get through the Rings of Power. Yep.
Power through.
But anyway, this opening and this song, wow. Much so like pretty much anything that I join you on your channel for, Jacob, this was a first watch for me because for being asked to be on movie shows, I don't really watch movies. I don't know why y'all keep asking me, but
it's to educate you. We're here to educate you.
It's working, and boy, this song, I think I saw it was it's embarrassing that the name has just escaped me.
It happens.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Ray Charles.
There we go.
Yeah.
Ray Charles.
Mm-hmm.
I had to stop thinking for a second. It came to me, but yeah, really, really good.
Oh, I just saw something in the freeze frame that I didn't notice rewatching it. All the music's done by Quincy Jones.
Yeah,
that's why. Like Quincy, fantastic composer, fantastic. Yeah. Worked with he's a legend by himself, but he has worked with so many legends. It's like every single score that he does, and that includes the Sanford and Son score. Fantastic.
Oh, I love Sanford. There are so many people these days that don't know what Sanford and Son is, and I just want to smack them all. Like, what are you doing?
You big dummy. You don't know
Elizabeth, this is the big one.
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yep.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Fun fact. I was born in Sparta, Missouri.
No.
Just a little bitty hole in the wall town.
Nice.
All right.
Hey.
And
And
another-
I also I love how this takes place in Mississippi. Now, of course, this
Bruh.
movie came out first, but Mississippi Burning is another fantastic movie dealing with the same, like, it's dealing with race relations, it's dealing with crime, it's dealing with the police, and it's just I really like that they use Mississippi in this way. It's like you can kind of if you were to watch this and then watch Mississippi Burning, fantastic setting.
Yeah.
Not fantastic like for the reason behind it all, but it's a fantastic portrayal, let me say.
Yeah, and two, I just want to say there are probably people out there who would want to get rid of this movie,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
but we need to remember what it used to be like, so we don't go back to it.
Right? So we don't
repeat
repeat
it.
history? Those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it? What?
This guy,
Crazy.
this guy always in those old westerns either plays a bad guy or a hillbilly.
Yeah.
Funny.
I mean, technically in this one he's a little bit of both.
A little bit.
Yep, a little bit.
Well, I would say ignorant more than bad.
I mean, most of anyone who lives in Mississippi is ignorant. So it's like, can you really
Whoa,
fault them for that
careful
anymore?
there, Mando. We might have.
I was raised
have-
in Alabama. I could say stuff like that.
Okay.
Like most people in Mississippi, it's rough to be in Mississippi.
Well, and I did just look up where Sparta, Mississippi is, and I'm looking at the satellite view, and it's about as vacant today as this show makes it seem. So it's
there are-
middle of
There are
nowhere.
also some good people in Mississippi. I've met some good people from Mississippi.
One or two.
Yeah.
This
I-
guy
I-
is
I love
killing
this
flies
smacking
with
flies.
yeah,
I love how accurate all of the bugs and the flies are, and
yeah,
it's just like,
and
that
it
is
just
what it's like to live in the South.
and it shows that cream pie with flies all over the top of it. Like, what?
Mhm.
Everyone just
Yeah,
kind of
I
has
want
like that
that.
that sheen of sweat just constantly on them. Yes, it's because
Yeah.
it's humid. Like that. That is exactly how it is to be in the South. It's constantly
Yeah,
hot
and
and
if
sweaty,
you
and there's bugs
notice-
everywhere.
If you notice, he gets this fly, and it was on top of the sugar container, and he just
Mhm.
wipes the top of it off.
Absolutely.
I mean, you look at his apron, you know that thing hadn't been washed in 6 months.
Wait, he washes it?
Yes, dude. Inside the thing that's supposed to keep bugs off of it,
Yes.
there's flies
Oh, it's
in
a
it.
bug container now.
I saw that too. I love it.
And he's like trying to get him to, you want some of this pie? Oh, no, thank you.
You want
don't-
some
I
pie?
don't want
Yeah,
fly
you
pie.
want some of that pie.
I don't want no
The
fly
look
pie.
he gives him here is just like, yeah. What's up, Zax?
Exactly.
Hey, Zax, what's going on, man?
Yeah, because he he calls him Sam, then he takes offense to that. He's like, oh, "I'm sorry, Officer Wood." You know, he's just messing with him even before he turns around and
Yeah.
there's the pie hidden, which is not hidden at all. Officer Wood is just blind.
Yep.
And just covered in flies.
Yep.
Just
That's exactly
look
what
at
it's
it.
like to live in the South.
Ugh.
I don't know why people want to move there. I really don't understand. Because, like, if you go outside during the summer, maybe not even during the summer, but especially during the summer, and you have a barbecue, there's just flies everywhere.
Flies.
Well, that's why you gotta
Everywhere.
get one of them like 10-foot tall fans. Just have it going.
Yeah.
That is the
That's
reality
practical. Absolutely. You
of
take
living
those extension cords
in the
and you
South.
bring it
you,
out.
you plant citronella all around your porch, you know?
Yep.
Citronella and box fans.
Yo,
Yes.
Citronella, box fans,
Welcome
and then
to
you gotta
the
have a
South.
bug zapper. You gotta
You
have
gotta
a bug
have a bug
zapper that
zapper.
constantly goes.
Summer is not summer without a bug zapper.
That's
You
right.
can also gamify that and get one of those rackets that's got the electricity.
I
running
have one
through
of
it.
those.
Yeah.
Those are
It's
so
much
fun.
Yes. So satisfying until something gets stuck in there, then you get to smell it. That's not so much fun.
Yeah, that kind of ruins a little bit.
I like these old cars. I'm not
What's
even
up,
really
R2?
a car guy, but man, I just
R2,
like
I
them.
need to message you about meeting up in Arkansas because you don't live that far from me. Unfortunately,
R2.
Arkasule no longer lives in the state of Arkansas, but
Hey.
Wow. I mean, everyone called you Arkasule before, like it's Arkansas.
I mean
you know, like,
that is my name. You just said my name. Like, yeah, it is Arkasule. Thank you for getting it right.
you know what? Shut up. Ah.
Oh, so they have Pepsi and Sprite
Yep.
at the truck stop.
Before
Yep.
Sprite got taken over by Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Is that? I think that's Squirt, which is much more southern
that what it is?
than
Squirt?
Sprite. Yeah.
Yes. I think
Okay,
you're
yeah,
right.
yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Kind of blurry.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
think you're
R2
right.
Ark is a fake Arkansan now. You were correct.
Wow.
I love
Anyways,
this
I
little rearview
like
mirror
how
radio.
I like how this sets the
Yeah, me
stage
too.
for the small town dynamic. You just have a cop going about his business, his nightly route, and you see how dead it is. That only
Yeah.
happens in small town America.
And then
Then he goes a pervin.
yeah. Well, they're both pervin, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets off.
I'm
of
not-
This is what
I'm gonna
this is what it
skip
said.
a little bit here, okay? So
I mean that.
so
that
there's the
shot
girl
right there
in
is,
there.
is fine.
That's enough.
Just-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the police officer's nightly route he takes.
Where he stares at that young lady.
Yes.
Yeah. Later on, when they reveal the age, it makes you feel extra icky.
Oh yeah, it's just like, ugh.
I had to go and double check the actress's age when she filmed this just to make myself feel better, and everything is
Right?
fine. It's all fine.
Yeah. And it doesn't show anything. It just
That's
shows
true.
that there's an
It
extra person
shows
there.
enough.
It shows enough.
It
when
shows
you
enough.
realize what age she's supposed to be. In
Yeah,
this. It's
right.
like, "Ah."
So he goes
Don't-
driving
I don't-
along. He continues. What now?
I see the reason why they had to like make her that age, but also just I don't really remember or even remember reading stories about stuff like that happening. Like maybe it did and
I
they just
bet you
kept
they
it
were
hush hush.
cousins.
Probably
Oh.
could have been.
All right.
Okay. So anyway,
Ding-a-ling, ding, 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 ding.
So anyway, look at
He
that
gets-
really nice old car.
yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
So he gets out of the car thinking, oh, it's some drunk dude. Passed out again.
Only
It's
to
like,
find
oh.
out that his brain is leaking.
It's like, oh, he dead. He dead. Poke him just to make sure.
Yeah.
Yep, he
You
did.
gotta.
He's a very good police officer. Very using the deductive reasoning. Perfect. I touch it. There's red stuff. Oh, that's bad.
I mean, especially talking to like with the chief later on, you get the feeling this definitely does not happen in this town very often.
No.
Yeah, everyone's so
No.
prepared and just very professional. It's great.
I like this. He's asking the
Yeah, they
photographer,
just get
this
the-
first time you
some
photographed a
photographer.
dead body,
It's like,
and
oh yeah.
that smacking gum.
Constantly.
Yes.
And you can tell when he gets really agitated, he just starts chewing faster.
Yes. So isn't it right here where he kind of like kind of jumps to the conclusion? Must have been like a hitchhiker. He tells him
Yes.
check either in the town pool hall and everything.
Yeah. Must be somebody that's not even involved with our town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
it's-
makes
You know,
me
that's the
think this is
first-
definitely
first thing
that's
that
something
they-
that happens often is because they know everybody.
Yeah. So he sends him to go look around. It's like, make sure to get all around there, photographer dude.
Make
Tells
sure
him
you
check
know
it.
what you're doing.
Tells him check the pool hall. Pool hall closes at 1 a.m. I said check it.
Because, yeah, in small towns, places like that don't really close, you know. There could
The
still
only places
be
that
people
close
there.
in a small town are the ones that are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Everything else,
Right.
very sketchy.
So he sees the pool hall, and there's nobody there.
So he's just checking the places that he was told to check, and he goes to the depot. And the first person he sees, how can you be Southern when you live in a state that has North in its name? Well, I mean,
You
still.
can't. You can't. You're a fake Southerner. Fake news.
I'm a fake Southerner. Your words wound me.
I'm glad, Ark. I hope they pierced your tiny little heart.
Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, he goes to the depot, and he just grabs the first person that he sees,
He's
and
like-
it's like, oh,
He did it.
yeah, and it's a good old-fashioned racial profiling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actual racial profiling, not like what we get most
Yeah.
of the time.
Not
these
like,
days.
hey, excuse me, sir. We've had a killing. Could I see some identification, please? No, sir. You did it.
Yep.
And he's just sitting there minding his own business, waiting for the train.
Doesn't have any blood on him. Doesn't look like he's been in any kind of scuffle or fight or anything.
Nope, just minding his own business.
I
Gonna
love
leave town.
how he just lets it play out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also, if he tried anything, he'd end up with a bullet hole in him, but still.
Right?
Yeah.
He's got that other billfold in his back pocket. He's gonna use that.
Yep.
Officer Wood, if you just patted him down a little bit more.
You did your
Yeah.
job. If you just did your job a little bit better, just a smidge.
Yes, just a little bit.
The whole
I love
time,
this
just like,
too.
I don't
I
know
love this
why
too.
the hell I'm even
The
here.
fan squeaking. And there's several parts in here where he's like, how many times have I told that guy to oil this or fix that?
He said something like, when's the last time I asked so-and-so to oil this? Last Wednesday? Well, would you kindly go out there and remind him what day it is today?
Yeah.
That's exactly how a small town police system is.
Now, that is a lot of money to be carried around in cash
It
then.
is. It is.
Yeah, like
I mean,
a whole
even
heck of a
now.
lot. Like that on its own for this time period is a smidge suspicious. Just a smidge.
Yeah. About $146.
I think it's like, because I think there's 250s folded over. I think it's like $203.
Okay.
At
Or
least.
something like that.
There's a 5. That
Anyway.
looks like a 5 right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there's another one right here. Just making sure, just counting it. Make sure.
Yep.
Ah,
Still,
Officer
all
Wood's
you had
so
to do
proud
was
of
look for
himself.
the other wallet.
And he's like, case closed. I got the guy.
Never seen this man in my life. Has no blood on him, but he done it.
That's right.
And I love how the
Smug
chief's
chief.
just like, okay,
It's like
just case
What's
closed.
this?
Let's lock him up, boys.
Virgil.
We're not going to have any trouble, are we, Virgil?
Not a bit.
And you could just see how smug he is to start.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
When he's like, "Oh,
And then-
my brilliant plan worked. My wonderful deputy did exactly what I told him to, and he brought a guy in, and this is an African American guy, of course. Although he says something else in his brain. Of course, this guy right here, he did it, easy,
done it.
open and shut case,
Yep.
and he's smug. But then all of a sudden,
Yeah. He asks him, what did you hit him with? And he's like, whom? He's like, whom? Are you a northern boy?
Yeah, and he's like, yes, I am.
Yeah.
You ain't from the South, sir. Your accent's different than ours. I don't understand why you be
Okay,
talking like that.
Yeah, it just kicks off what will last for the rest of the film, the back and forth between them, where he's both smug and judgmental, but also insecure about
Yes.
his ability to do stuff. And he like there's a certain amount of respect for the badge that he has, but he hates the man, but he also needs him to do things and be better.
Exactly.
Can't do it.
And
But
he's like-
as we see with the police chief, like he's new. He just got the position.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that also adds to the insecurity of I have to keep up with the norm. I have to keep up doing what like the previous police chiefs did and keep the establishment of that town happy, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to
So-
play
Yeah.
politics in small towns because in a small
Mhm.
town, like you do whatever
Everybody
the
knows
richest
everybody.
Person, yeah, everybody knows everybody, and you do what the richest person of the town tells you. Like that person might not be the mayor, or it might be the mayor, and you do what he says, no questions asked. He can get you out of that office as fast as you got into that office.
Uh-huh.
I like
But I also
too how
think
he's
no,
ahead.
you go for it, Jacob.
No, you go.
Okay. I also like how I don't think he number one gets challenged by black people. And I don't think he's been challenged by another cop because he's the police chief. He's head honcho. And so for him to be challenged and told that he's wrong, he's like, oh, it intrigues him. But he also wants to be a good cop and he wants to find like the person that killed the guy.
Yep.
Like he's constantly
and,
battling
you know,
his
this-
internal battle of do I be a good cop or do I just take the easy way?
Yep.
Yeah, right. And he's like, I stopped on the train and I was waiting for the 4 something train. He's like, we
He's-
don't get a
he's
train like that. And then the
Yeah,
train
he says
was
like 4:05 on Tuesdays. Yeah, and I'll admit,
Yeah.
the first time I watched this, I missed the train whistle or the train horn. It was only when, like, right before the show came on that I realized, oh, okay, got it
Mhm.
now.
Because you're seeing Virgil, Mr. Tibbs, you're seeing him be proven right time and time again.
Yeah.
And you can tell that the police chief does not like it. You can
Yeah.
tell that he's irritated that this hoity-toity Yankee police officer is proving him wrong. But then
Yeah.
again, that's the easy road side. But then the good cop side's like, well, I have the wrong guy. So that means that I have to work extra hard to find someone else.
Yep.
And that means that he's at back to square one, really.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, right.
then we're coming up on it in this scene. But I love how he kind of feels it almost looked like he's gleeful that Virgil's police chief back in Philadelphia says that Virgil has to help out with the case.
I think
he's
he
such a-
realizes. Or go ahead.
Go for
Sorry.
it.
Oh,
Well,
I was going to
that-
say he realizes that he's the only other competent person in the entire freaking town besides himself.
Yes. That's what I was going to say.
And right here, he's like, just what do you do up in? And he's like, I'm a police officer. He's like, oh, no.
This
That's
is the
perfect
moment he
frame.
realizes his underlings are dumb and he's just this is the moment he realizes, oh my god, I'm working with a bunch of idiots.
He's like, oh, great.
I mean, he probably knew that he was working with a bunch of idiots, but they were useful idiots until this moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that if he had wrongfully imprisoned a police officer, that would have set him into a world of hurt. And so he has to watch his that would have I don't know, escalated the situation to a degree that he never wants to see.
Yeah.
FBI would have had to been called. Because this is across state lines. Like, he's a cop in another state. Like, so it's the FBI, nobody wants the FBI to be brought to their tiny little town because they're going to poke their noses around and start asking questions.
Maybe find some other things that aren't so good.
Yeah, especially the FBI back then. The FBI, well, they still are, but they were tyrants back then. And there was no paper trail that you could follow. Like, they worked by their own rules. They were definitely above the law back then. And he knows this. And he wants to steer clear of that.
Yeah. I do like that in an effort to actually be, I don't think it was trying to like flex on him, but in an effort to be nice, Virgil says, if you call long distance, I'll pay for it. But I can't help it that police chief already having issues with how much money he was making up north. Like, just that must have like rubbed him the wrong way. It must have felt like
because he makes twice what he makes.
Yeah,
yeah, and it's very similar to like what I have witnessed today, like in modern times, what Southerners think of Yankees and how they refer to them as carpetbagger and such, because the South still to this day doesn't make as much as the North. And they don't like that. And as soon as you bring money into things, that leads to a lot of jealousy and a lot of anger.
Yeah, but we've got better personalities.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
very true.
And just for the record, R2 looked it up. That money he was carrying, $227 in 1967, would be equal to over $2,000 in your wallet today. So that would be enough to raise an eyebrow and ask some questions.
Right. Yeah. Just that by itself is like, what are you doing carrying that much cash around? Do you need that much for the trains? And trains wouldn't have cost that to, go back and forth with. No.
Steven.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Also, shout out to all of our FBI handlers out there.
Hello.
I'm sure that they're like, what the hell's going on with her search history? Because like playing Pathfinder one day and then playing Sea of Thieves another day, I'm looking up a lot of pirate things. I promise I'm not doing things like that.
She's lying to you. She's a land pirate.
Yeah. Arrgh. Yeah, I love this. It's like, I don't think they want my help, sir. He's like, are they police officers? Yes. Are you a police officer? Yes.
Yeah, I also like the line that kind of going the opposite direction that you would expect in this film is he tells his commanding officer, no, I'm not prejudiced. Which, yeah, you would expect like somebody who was like forcing the white man to work the black man, kind of like you would expect from that way. But
the chief looks up like, huh? He's not prejudiced.
Chief is like, well, I am.
We all are here. What are you talking about? This is Mississippi.
And already the dynamic is set between these two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both ways, it's like a begrudging, unwilling respect sort of thing.
And he's like, no, I'm sure we can do without Mr. Tibbs' expertise.
And then he's like, wait, he's an expert in what?
Wait, what now?
He's the only expert within like probably 100-mile radius of a murder. Like, wait, what? He's a what?
It's like, could you take a look at the body, please? Your train didn't leave for a while.
This is like he has to humble himself right here, and you know he hates it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the part where he stands up and yells because I'm not an expert. He has to like finally admit that he can't do the job at hand.
Yep, we're a rinky-dink town with rinky-dink people who don't know nothing about no murders, and you're the only one who might have any experience. Our doctor doesn't even know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
And like the cemetery owners in his bathrobe just woke up.
I mean,
it's the middle of the night, so of course, but
they don't have a pathologist or anything. They have the town doctor and the town undertaker.
Yep.
Mhm.
I love when, like, after this, like, he's like, where can I go wash my hands? And they're just, like, looking at him with disgust.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually doing my job correctly and calling all of you out without even saying anything.
This, when the chief walks up there and takes a look at something he doesn't know the answer to, that is like peak dude opening up the hood of his car and like two of them standing side by side with their hands on their hips, staring at it, just like, I don't know what's wrong with this, but if we stare hard enough, I'll figure something out. But yeah, he just looks.
You know that the town doctor is just giving his best guess as to what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, because he guessed on the time, and
when he was questioned,
and it was to the body temperature too.
Yeah, and at the scene when he was questioned by the chief, he was like, "Maybe it happened 30 minutes later. Does it really matter?" Like, yes, it does.
Yes, it matters.
Yeah,
a doctor should know that this is important information. I love how he just rips that blanket off. Like,
yeah,
get this thing out of here.
Yeah, he just takes charge.
And nobody likes it because they're like, wait, this black guy is proving us that we don't know what we're doing. Oh dear.
Uh-huh.
And he's like moving the body around and like looking at the fingers and stuff. So this is
doing
after rigor mortis. There's like a period in time where the body like gets stiff and then it relaxes. So it's past that. So
and without throwing it in our face, it does show the prejudices that these townspeople hold towards black individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not overt, and it's not like just slammed down our throats, but you know that it's there. You know that they don't like black people if they're white, and you'll see later on that the black folk think that this guy, Virgil, he's going about it all wrong. Like, you're not going to survive long in this town. You keep acting like that.
Yep.
And Virgil understands that, but he also doesn't care because he's a real cop. He wants to get to the bottom of this, and he just powers through and uses the law to get him into places.
Yeah. Yeah.
He actually does his job, which most of these town folks don't. The main thing that you have to understand with small towns, nothing happens. So the people that have certain jobs, like a cop or a doctor or whatnot, they don't actually have to work. They don't have to do their jobs. This guy is making them have to do their jobs. They don't get to be this lazy rinky dink, like, oh, I guess
it's not just rinky dink. I mean, they're dealing with just regular small town life. Murders don't happen that often, so they don't have to, study to be a criminologist or anything. But when something does happen, they need help from, a bigger town.
Usually they call the FBI, but they don't call the FBI. That's the thing. They're just like, we'll take care of it ourselves.
And like, he just very matter-of-factly starts listing off things that he needs. He tells the doctor to check the jaw to see the status of rigor mortis and things like that, which calls into question his timeline. And in just this one move where the chief just sits there watching him be the expert in the room, and these other two men just take it personally. Instead of doing their job, they just take it personal.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets a call of somebody running as suspect, and he tells him, now you give him everything here, everything he needs.
Yep.
And they don't do anything.
They don't even tell him where a sink is.
It's like, I want to wash my hands. Just scowls. I love
And then
the
he
pouting look on his face, like
Yeah. and immediately they go into, oh, we got another suspect. This guy's running away from us. Surely this is the same guy that killed our victim.
Hey,
It's
Jana.
just, hey, Jana. You see that they're moving from one person of interest to the next, and like, is this the guy? Like, we're what, 20 minutes in, 30 minutes in? Is this movie gonna be over with right now? Like, do they really have the guy? Sure enough, they don't. Spoilers for a 1967-year-old year movie. It's sloppy police work, but that was kind of the norm back then.
Yeah. You chase one lead down, haul somebody in, and then figure out if you actually have to do anything else later on.
Yep.
Although I do like this scene purely for the bridge part, where the cop is just sitting there like, okay, I know where he's at. I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then
because he's trying to cross the river into another state.
Into Arkansas, yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to go from Mississippi into Arkansas. And he gets to the bridge and he ditches the cops on foot, and he's almost there. He's almost got it, right? And then the cop just comes up behind him, and he's just driving slowly behind him as he's running for his life.
And it does show that the sheriff is not ignorant. He's good at what he does. I mean, he is good at knowing, okay, he's going to go for the bridge, so I'm going to sit here and wait for him.
Yep.
And I love just how long this shot goes on.
Yeah.
It's a good shot just in general, but with that cop car just slowly driving up, and you just
like,
you
I got
see
him.
the defeat in the guy as he just like, oh, fine.
And the entire time, what is he doing? He's chewing his gum.
Yep.
That's what he's doing. That's the focal point. Boom.
Like,
that right there. That part of this scene, fantastic. I love it. And then he just gives up. He's like, I've been caught.
It's like, where are you going to go?
Can't jump in the water.
Back when that
too,
bridge
too
was
tall.
actually in use.
Yeah.
I've been through like that kind of like, not exactly that area, but a similar area, and like bridges like that are still there, but most of them aren't in use anymore. And I'm just like, oh, if I knew I wouldn't die if I tried to cross the bridge, I would try and cross the bridge.
So he comes back with the DNA.
Yep,
the DNA evidence, I should say.
Yeah.
And
whatever evidence it was, because it wouldn't have been quite DNA. They would probably rely on like blood types and things like that.
Yeah.
But,
even if that, like with this rinky-dink town.
But regardless, he's got all the samples that he needs to send off and get tested.
And it's straight from the FBI, so that's showing that he's doing more work than what these regular folk that turned cop are doing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the dead man's wife is here, and I don't know if it tells yet, but the guy that was killed was like a northerner that had come down to start a factory, so he was a pretty well-to-do person.
Yeah, he was supposed to bring up a lot of jobs to the town.
Yeah,
but that's going to upset some of the small town dynamics. That old money's not happy, new money's coming in.
Yeah.
And what did they call those people that came down to bring bustling business? They called them carpetbaggers.
Bagger, because their suitcase was a carpet bag.
Mm-hmm. Now this is a very touching scene.
It really is.
Only
Both
one
these
who
two
tells
did
her
really
what
well.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This plays out. Both these two actors did a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm. Because you feel how sad he is to give the news, but you also feel the grief that she portrays.
Also,
very
like
well
it's a very unique dynamic because you understand she is a northerner. She does not treat him how anybody else in the town treats him. She's not prejudiced. She's not like, oh, you're a black man, so it's just I'm upset.
Well, even then, this time period in the North, if one of the white guys came in and him, helping her to the seat so she didn't pass out would misconstrue,
Mhm.
Yeah. It is kind of a weird kind of look into his character because he's very matter of fact, straightforward with everything, but he still cares enough because he's trying to, like, he reaches to like take her hand, she pulls back, and like you see him standing there like he doesn't really know how to handle this situation right now, but he's caring enough.
If you look at this movie,
live people.
Yeah.
If you look at like the main focus of this movie, there's a murder. That's the main focus of it. It's just the backdrop is set in the 60s Southern. Yeah.
Mason-Dixon line is strong here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he finally convinces her to take a seat.
And
I like that right there where he takes her hand.
And she
yeah.
she doesn't just like, you're a black man. No,
Yeah.
she just
No.
And she requests to be alone, and he's gonna step out.
Yeah, and she says it's hot in this room. So they make her go in this hot room and not tell her anything what happened to her husband.
Mm-hmm. The same room, the AC don't work, and then she's just like, it's extremely hot. I need to sit down. I need to think about what I've just been told. Yeah, it's probably if it's the middle of summer, it's easily 88, 90 degrees.
And this scene right here, just this little, I mean, this guy's an oaf, okay? But this little scene is like, he knows that woman's just lost her husband, and they hear her crying in there, so he's not a complete oaf.
He kind of cares, but also like not enough to really do anything besides sit there and yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, we don't need you anymore. We found the guy.
We've got the guy. He was running away. That's why we think it's the guy, because he was running away."
Just like the first time when we thought you were the guy, we were 100% right. We're 100% right this time.
We've got the guy.
And I think, like, of course, like, well, my opinion is, of course, the underlings think that they've got the guy because he ran away. He has the wallet that was the victim's. They're just like, oh, we got him hook, line, and sinker. And I think the chief just wants to have a guy so he can put this behind him.
Absolutely.
Because it was Yankee come down to the South to start a factory, new money coming in, dies in a small town, in his small town. That's bad for business. That's bad for his reputation. He needs to find somebody to pin this on so that he can come out on top.
Yeah, right.
And he's tired now that he knows that Virgil is not his guy and that Virgil is a cop and is a very good cop. He's tired of Virgil messing around with his case.
Yep.
Yeah.
He can't stand the idea that
and I love this
an
too.
outsider would solve it.
He figures this guy is left-handed because he feels his arms, his muscle. You're gonna have more muscle in your dominant hand.
He's like, stop touching him.
Stop touching me.
Exactly.
Hands off.
And that right there, that's the face of, get out of my case.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone. Let me have this.
Get out of my town, you Yankee.
It's like, I don't like. Look, I bet you he's thinking, look at this guy that I just brought in. He's a vagabond. He's a nobody. We could throw him in a cell and he can rot, and nobody would care. Let me have this.
Yep.
But then that moral compass.
Yep.
The little angel sitting on his shoulders, like, I don't know about that, sir.
Yeah, and he mentions that he takes him for a lefty, and then suddenly everybody's like, "Oh yeah, he is a southpaw."
This guy's like, well, what does that make him? And he's like, innocent.
Oh yeah.
You see, these policemen are good at their job as just a police officer. But when it comes to investigating, they don't know anything.
Yeah. Small town cops, it's easy to work with the people that are in your small town that you know. You can judge them because you've known them forever. And I suspect that's probably one of the reasons they brought this guy in, because I suspect he's a known problem in town.
That was my understanding, is they knew him as a vagabond, like drifter.
Yeah.
Like, he's not, we don't like
And
him,
he's
so
like,
we're going to try and
I
pin
just
something on
found
him.
the wallet. I just got the wallet. I didn't hurt him. He was already dead. I just got the wallet.
Mm-hmm.
He's a scoundrel, but not a killer.
And she
Yeah.
can see how sincere he is.
Yeah.
And that's why she wants Virgil to remain on the case instead of just leaving town right now, because the chief got his guy. She's like, no, you're going to keep looking. You're going to find my husband's killer. And I want Virgil on the case.
Well, the thing is, she... Go ahead, sorry.
No, go for it.
She understands that if they don't find the actual killer, he is going to strike again. If you do not get the actual person who was responsible for my husband's death, he's going to do it again. And this is going to be a bigger problem than what it's already is right now. She understands that.
And one of the greatest lines in this movie, what do they call you up there? He's like, they call me Mr. Tibbs.
Yes.
Best line.
So good. So if I remember correctly, the chief is trying to get his evidence from him and send him on his way, but he's adamant, obviously, to send it off to the FBI and get it properly tested.
Right.
Yeah, but like you were saying, he just wants him out of his hair, but she is not on board with that.
Yeah, she's like, what kind of people are you?
What kind of establishment is this? And she calls all of them out, which is perfect. I love it.
Yeah. And he's like,
they're still.
are you going to give me that? He's like, nope. And then he arrests him.
He arrests him for withholding evidence and puts the evidence in the cell with him.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh, but I love that he just like uses this to his advantage to get information, making it seem like it wasn't a coincidence that they put him in that cell. But it absolutely was. The door was already open. That's why he went in there. But
does anybody recognize this guy?
I don't think so. Not me, at least.
He was. Don't look it up yet. Don't look it up yet.
Okay. I don't
He
even know
was
what name to
in.
look for.
He was in The Walking Dead. He was old, had a beard.
Yep,
Bald.
that's him.
I don't remember his
That's
name.
Herschel. Herschel.
Oh.
Really?
Yep. Like this. He's like, easy now.
I'm trying to help you, dum dum. Don't do this.
I am the only friend you have. Relax.
Right? He's just like, you're about to make a mistake. I'm trying to help you. Shut up. I also don't understand, like, this whole thing. Why did no one ask for a lawyer?
I don't know.
Like, if I'm being put in jail, I'll be like, I want a lawyer right now.
Let's be honest. A small town like this and cops as inept as this, they probably didn't even read him his rights, so nobody would care.
Well, the thing is, when were the Miranda rights done?
Good question.
Well, they should be done like right when you arrest them.
They were enshrined in U.S. law following the 1966 court decision. Supreme Court.
So this was probably
so
interesting. So this is 67, right?
Well, the movie was released in 67.
Yeah.
This
so
probably
the thing
took place before. Now, if we get a shot, I know that there's one shot in the sheriff's office where there's a calendar, a big calendar, and it says September, but I didn't pay attention to the year. So if
It
it's
might be a
did
few
see
years
something.
earlier because it's based on a 1965 novel.
Yeah, I bet you. Yeah, this is
So
before
it was
that was
probably
okay,
pre
yeah.
Miranda rights. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
So
I
this
forget
guy's
that there
like,
was a pre-Miranda rights.
I got the guy's wallet, and then I saw who it was. Saw in the wallet who it was, and he's like, "Oh no, they're gonna pin this on me."
Mm-hmm.
Every scene that dude's in, he's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's the only one who really actually knows what he's doing.
So the movie takes place in September 1966.
Okay.
Hmm.
okay, cool. So yeah, he tells him, what happened up until the bridge, until he got arrested, and then he's like, "Have you done anything else that?" And he kind of tells him that this girl, the girl that it showed earlier, he was with her,
Mm-hmm.
but he said nothing happened. He didn't do anything.
Ain't that always the story?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, okay, hold on, guys. This is interesting because the Miranda rights, they were enshrined into law on June 13th, 1966. But this takes place in September of 66.
Okay.
So maybe they just didn't do it back then. Like maybe it didn't spread out to Mississippi. I don't know.
I mean, they probably did make that decision, but it probably took a lot longer to get it in.
Yeah,
to where people were
that's
using
what
it.
I'm thinking.
Well, in as inept as a lot of these cops have been shown to be, I don't think they would have really been up to date
No,
on stuff.
probably not.
I
But
agree
yeah,
about the ineptness of the local cops, but this is a Philadelphia police officer that would
That's
have
true.
known the law.
True.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a writing error. Maybe
Probably.
this is it doesn't really take away from the movie, but that's a good question.
So I
That's
like
a very
this
good
too. He
question.
takes a something and gets stuff out from this guy's fingernails, and it's chalk, so it's not blood or anything.
Yep.
And this, he brings a note in to sign this paper of a wrongful arrest.
Yeah. This is the please don't sue us waiver.
Yeah, right.
Please don't get the FBI down here to investigate us. We won't survive.
He probably asked the town lawyer, and the town lawyer's like, you did what?
I bet you the town lawyer is just like ripping his hair out when he's like, "Yeah, we just threw this random cop in the jail." What?
And here we go again with the gate. It's not fixed. He's like, so the sheriff wants him to leave now. He wants him to get on the train, but he's not leaving. He's like, no, I'm not leaving.
Well, like he's invested now. Like,
Yeah.
he knows that the cops in this town are not going to do their job, and he's like, I need to find out who the murderer is. Like, there is a murderer walking free right now.
So he changes the charges on that guy from murder to whatever he did, robbery or whatever.
Theft.
Yeah,
Mhm.
theft. He's
Yeah,
like,
it's another like begrudging admission that Virgil is really good at his job.
this part, he's like, when did I ask you to fix that gate? He's like, it
That
wasn't
must be my
me.
brother. He's
That was
engaged.
my brother.
Which that reminded me of the two brothers in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was my brother that you asked to do that.
Yeah. So the mayor, right? The mayor. I think it was the mayor.
I think so.
Calls him in. I was getting some real the music playing. I was getting some real CCR vibes.
Like, as I'm looking at this, I'm like, isn't that my hometown that I grew up in? No, it's not. Just because they all look the same doesn't mean it's mine.
I was thinking the same
they
thing.
really
They just all look the same, and nothing has changed really. If you drive through one now, as long as it's not completely abandoned, it still has the same feel as what we're seeing here.
Yo.
Uh-huh.
So the mayor owns the equipment co. in Sparta.
Which makes sense,
Not
especially
a
small
conflict of interest
towns.
at all.
Yeah.
It's like, so this lady goes to the mayor. It's like, oh, the mayor.
You told on me. You told my boss on me. Oops, daisy.
It's like, you tell me that you're gonna just botched arrest. He's like, oh no, we changed the charges.
Yup.
And he's like, I want that police officer to be to investigate, because she knows it's the only person that's going to get justice for her husband.
And I mean, and she's throwing the weight of all those new jobs around. Because as much as that would disrupt like little town life, there were people who need jobs, and the mayor wants the town to grow.
Yeah,
So
she says something to him like, I'll take my managers with me and y'all can see yourselves.
Yeah.
So, oh no, we can't do that. We'll do it.
Got to swallow that pride, Chief.
Yup.
Yeah. And two, he's like, well, you'll get this guy to do it. And if he messes up, it's not on you.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that. That's a little bit of manipulation. Like you can either use him or use him as a like scapegoat.
Back at the depot. Is he going to be able to go home? Let's see.
Like I know I'm reading too much into this, but when he walked up and zipped up his coat,
Yeah, it's like,
it seemed to me
hot?
like
It's
like-
supposed to be hot there.
yeah, it seems like the action of somebody who's like insecure, like you want like emotional and physical barriers between you and the other person you're gonna have to encounter. So I know I'm reading too much into that, but
he also has his pants tucked into his boots.
yeah.
He's got he's got his I's dotted and his T's crossed right here.
I just realized he's a lefty too with a cross draw holster.
Yeah.
Yup.
He's like, oh great. Come on. You gotta stay. He's like, no.
Yeah, after telling him to leave, he has to basically beg him to stay. Even gets down to the point I really love where he because as good as his job Virgil is, he's also very prideful, and the chief can figure that out. So he uses that and says, "You're going to stay here to prove to us that you're better than us." Basically,
he says to him, "You know, I would really like to horse whip you." He's like, "Oh, my father used to tell me that."
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And he very easily could have walked away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
But Virgil also wants to prove to himself and to everybody else that he's a good cop. And also, he wants to see justice be done for the widow and for the victim as well.
Yeah.
And it just, once again, it proves Virgil's the good guy. That's what it proves.
Yep.
Hey, Nerdporial.
Nerd.
Hey, nerd.
And I like this too. He's like, I'm going to try really hard to control my anger, to control my temper. And he's like, you just want to show us, that you're better than us. And I don't think you'd let something like that pass by.
He's not wrong. And that's just got to be destroying him inside to basically have to taunt the person he doesn't want to do this into actually taking the job and being better than him.
Eating him away on the inside.
I forget this guy's name. I like him.
Yeah, me too. He's like, here, you can stay here.
Oh yeah, what's that line? He said, he needs something that runs. He said something along the lines of like, if I fix it, it runs. Like, how dare you insult my work? Very quickly goes from being kind of, even with this family, he's a northerner.
Yeah.
So they're kind of standoffish until they realize he's got nowhere to stay. And it's like, we got company now.
We got company. Oh, this guy. He looks like a weasel.
He does. They all do.
Oh, I didn't notice this first. This is the guy that we see later with the flowers.
Oh.
I didn't notice that. So they're like talking about the black policeman. And they're like, and the mayor's like, now we just gotta sit this out and let it take its course. Pretty much. Yeah.
I like that, like, even with the chief kind of sitting on the side, not really contributing much, and the way he's observing things, it's like you can see him slowly, as much as he hates to admit that Virgil's doing everything right, slowly kind of getting onto his side.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and he's also seeing how corrupt and how wrong the town is.
Yep.
Which he's probably known that it was some version of corrupt, but he probably just pushed that away as that's just how we do business in this town. But now it's really starting to come to his the forefront of his mind. Like, this is corruption. This is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when slimy, corrupt politicians and big businessmen or whatever are getting the job done, and nobody cares.
Not much has changed either.
It's true.
Mean, you have a liberal town, and the sheriff that is elected by the people, does whatever the mayor tells him to do, or the governor, whatever. So he just asks them, if he had any enemies or anything, and did he have a car that he drove around? I think that's pretty much what the scene was. Oh, can y'all remember anything else?
I can't. I'm not drawing anything else from that. Mostly, it was just weird for me. I don't know why, but the way he asked if he had any enemies, for some reason, her reaction was just kind of like, "That's a weird question."
Which is not really a weird question.
Yeah,
like that's one of the first things you need to ask. Like, did he have somebody who wanted him gone?
Yeah.
Well, it's also spoilers. He's trying to get a case against the and I'm drawing a blank on this guy's name. The plantation owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got his own personal vendetta against the plantation owner, and he wants to see if there's any connection between the victim and the plantation owner.
Right. And this is
But
so
also,
cool. This
I
old car.
love this shot. I love this
Yeah,
shot.
the old car and the hardtop convertible. So cool.
And plantation owners, Endicott.
Endicott, that's right.
Endicott, yeah.
And there's some blood.
Oh my
very good.
god. That's suspicious.
And then he finds this material on the floor. And it's like
Actually doing forensics.
and it's like a certain material that's used in potting soil or whatever and for flowers or something. I think is what the impression I got.
Yeah. He gets more into that later on with the confrontation. You get the details. But yeah, I think what he gets from this is that he was killed elsewhere and then relocated by the killer in that vehicle.
And he's like, why don't you take me up to what's his name?
Endicott.
Endicott, that's what it is. Thank you.
And the policeman's like, what? No, what? Well, you can either
I'm
take
the
me and
dum-dum who
I won't
took you
get in
in.
trouble.
Oh my god, there's cotton.
Oh no.
Oh my god, there's cotton.
And
I actually lived next to a cotton field growing up.
yeah, there's a lot of cotton around where I live.
My mom likes to tell a story about her grandparents when her grandmother apparently was pregnant one time. She couldn't bend over to pick cotton anymore, so her husband made a little sled that he pulled her behind on so she could still pick cotton, but she didn't have to walk.
Oh my
That's
god!
cool. Yeah,
he'd work for like 8 hours pulling his pregnant wife through the field.
Yeah,
my grandpa grew up a migratory farmer worker, so he'd with his dad go around and pick cotton, pick all kinds of stuff. And my grandma too. My grandma and her family they picked cotton.
Yep. So did my grandparents.
Aren't we a cotton picking bunch?
I know, right?
No.
And it's just one of those things where you see what this town, at least at one point, was based on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like there's no dialogue in the scene at all. None. And yet to me, it sets the stage of, oh, this is the guy that you're going to meet. This is the big bad villain of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really love the shots.
Yeah, this is the guy that controls the town.
Mhm.
Yep.
Not
That's
the police,
exactly
not
what
the
it is.
mayor. This guy.
Yep.
This guy has
And
all
notice
the lawyers.
in that meeting, he doesn't say a single word because he knows I'm the real boss of all this town.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Small town politics. The leaders aren't actually the ones who have the titles.
He's got all the lawyers in his pocket. He's got all of the high-ranking townsfolk in his pocket. He runs it.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes him out. He's in the greenhouse. There he is.
Which would be a pretty
Angry
cool
old
greenhouse to have.
Yeah. I like this because he asked him if they would like anything to drink. The chief's like, nah, because I don't want anything. He doesn't think they're going to be there very long. But Tibbs, he takes it as like, sure, like kind of to put him off his game with a little bit of false hospitality or kindness, and then just goes right about making small talk about flowers that he
It's like, I
apparently
didn't know
knows
you
a
could grow
lot
these down
about.
here.
He's a good he's a good cop. He actually knows how to do his job.
Well, it's not even necessarily just a cop. He's just all around a knowledgeable person who seeks knowledge, because most cops wouldn't need to know about different varieties of flowers and things like that to.
And man, this scene, it's like, well, what's your favorite flower? And he like picks this flower, It's like this guy goes into this long spiel about the flower. Is like,
Yeah. I don't know how
It's
much of
like-
that you can say on YouTube.
Yeah,
here.
yeah, right,
Well,
right.
it's very simple. This guy considers himself to be a quote unquote learned man. He considers himself to be a scholar. He considers himself to be a smart individual, and he uses
words.
quote unquote the science of the time to try and prove a point,
Well,
which is a
Not this time. Back when, during the Civil War, that time period.
yeah the quote unquote, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that type of thinking persisted from before the Civil War, mind you, from like the 1840s. It persisted
Yeah.
into like the 1980s.
Yeah, he basically uses the analogy of a smart, hand guiding the cultivation of
flower.
the flowers and things like this as a racist analogy that
Yeah. Which
if
leads to another great scene.
oh yeah.
Because he just what Virgil does is he just plays this guy like a fiddle.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he already has the fern root, and he's like, oh, I think I know a guy that would have fern root. Boom. Sure enough, he has fern root. And
And he's like,
it is proven that the victim did meet with Endicott the night of the murder. And in Virgil's mind, he's the hook, line, and sinker. I finally get to prove this racist, idiotic man that I am smarter than him.
yeah. And it's like,
and then he goes and messes all of it up.
yeah.
Yep.
So this guy slaps him, and then he slaps him back. It's like, and he's like, to the point of tears. He slapped me. How dare you?
He had no hesitation on that slap back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, bruh, especially at this point in time in the deep South, like, oh my God.
Yeah, and I played
It's
that
like,
back for slow,
nope.
and I'm pretty sure they make actual contact.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's like, he actually smacked me back. Oh my God. 10 years ago, I could get you shot for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, how dare anybody stand up against him that happened to look like that?
Right?
It's like almost completely so far out of his reality that he can't process it.
Right? He can't even fathom that guy smacked him back.
I
This
like
guy
the look
too.
too. I like
This
it.
guy looks at him like and shakes
He's
his head.
just-
It's like,
Like,
whoa, I've never seen that before.
yeah.
Like so
Like, you deserve
to help these, like, a lot of people to understand the simple fact that he smacked him back in these people's minds is like smacking the president.
I love this too. And he's like, I didn't know you were gonna slap him. And he's
I
like,
didn't know it was gonna slap me.
oh come
either.
on, just give me a little more time. I can bring this guy down. And I love it. He's like, whoa, you're like the rest of us, aren't you? He's like, so even Virgil has his own prejudice against, I mean, the guy is a scumball, really, but he didn't do anything. He didn't do it.
As far as what they are aware of at this moment in time, he has not enough evidence to prove guilt.
Yeah, but he definitely does latch on to his number one suspect just like as blindly as they did.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the mayor takes the blame. It was my fault. This was my fault. Yeah, and something too, he says to him, what changed your mind about Virgil? And the sheriff's like, what? He says, your predecessor, if that had happened, would have pulled his gun out and shot him right there and claimed self-defense. It's like, so even him, he's different, he's not
Mhm.
like his predecessor. And
Yeah, he's not as ignorant. He actually has a moral compass. That's the difference.
Yeah, like I said, it's that back and forth in him, like respect for the badge and for good work, but he's still kind of a little bit racist.
Yeah. Hey, Mark. And he's like, he calls the station is like, did you take Virgil out to the the train depot? He's like, he wouldn't go. And he said somebody saw him go out on a farm road. So he's like, and these guys are chasing Virgil
with a Confederate flag, of course.
Of course.
Which, I'm from the South. For the time period, definitely more racist than
Oh yeah,
in context.
Very accurate.
Yeah.
Very accurate.
I get it.
And
I didn't look at
you
that
could
and take
see
offense
him.
to it.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was like, man, if that was made today, kind of thing.
I mean, you could see him drinking in the back. Like they're not up to any good.
Nope.
And it's just Virgil should be very, very, very happy that the sheriff is coming out there to try and find him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, surely he knows that he's at risk of things going out on his own, trying to investigate, but he's so latched on to Endicott being his guy. He's thrown caution to the wind and nearly gets himself killed.
Yeah, it shows the policeman coming and goes the wrong way.
The wrong way.
The opposite direction.
Which adds to the suspense for the viewer, like, oh
Yes.
crap. Well, there goes Virgil's one chance of getting out of here like
Alive.
Alive, uninjured, like
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah, it was a very good choice as far as making the movie. I liked it a lot.
Also, I really love how Sidney Poitier slides around all the time. Have you noticed that? Like he constantly slides.
I mean, have you tried jumping across any gaps in loafers like that? You can go sliding. But yeah, I did actually notice that in this shot, especially. Like he seems less steady on his feet.
Yeah,
like he's definitely got himself in over his head.
Yep. And you can see it on his face. You can see that his attackers are very, very well. Once again, smug, but also pretentious by the way that they're like, oh, we're gonna slowly gang up on you. We're gonna make it last. We're gonna revel in knowing that we're gonna beat the ever loving daylights out of you, and there's nothing you can do. And they know that they could take both the sheriff and Virgil on, but they also know that messing with the law, they can't do that.
Yeah.
So once again, being a cop pays off.
Yep.
And like he kind of gives him the tut, you rowdy boys, go on home. And I'm on the fence if that is him playing to the politics of the town or if he actually was deep down just kind of like, whatever, boys will be boys, go home.
Well, I think it is. I think it is playing into the politics of the town because it's a delicate situation. Yeah. If he shoots one of them, if he beats one of them black and blue, there's going to be 50 people there to remove Virgil.
Yeah.
Yep.
Never, actually. This is actually a good movie, Zax.
But yeah, like I think what he was doing is he was hoping that by him just saying, shoo, shoo, go away, that the boys would just go away. Say some mean things and then walk away. When they didn't, he realizes, oh no.
I gotta put my boot in here.
Yep, gotta shove that boot up their rear ends.
There's a phrase my dad uses. Sometimes they gotta hear you growl.
Yep. And of course, so their parting words was like, "Oh, I guess you're a, black person lover." It's just like, "Oh, okay, wow, all right."
Yeah, they threw that out, which it fits for the time period. It's ugly as it is.
Absolutely.
It fits for the time period, and
Yeah.
it can actually
Yeah.
contribute to the story.
Uh-huh. History is not pretty
No,
at all.
No, it's not.
And like
this
I said
too, I
in
like
the
this
beginning,
part.
and
Go
yeah,
ahead.
and like I said in the beginning, the racial tensions are there. It's not subtle. It's out in the open, yes, but it's also not oversaturated. And so it
It's not the
actually
main
means
point.
something. Yeah, it means something.
it's not for shock value.
Yeah.
Correct.
I do like
And
this scene.
I like this part too. He's like wants him to take him on his route.
He's working out the time frame where everything would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Doing actual detective work once again.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy again. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
We're back to the creepy guy.
See, what didn't he like Jimmy the jukebox so he didn't have to put any money in there? That's what he
Yeah,
was doing,
right.
right?
Yep. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
He sees the cop coming and hides the pie.
Oh, gotta hide the pie. With the flies, the fly pie.
Mm-hmm. The fly pie gotta hide.
Ew.
People wonder why people in the South are always angry because they got flies in their pies.
That's what it is. That's what it is. He's like, and he's still like, you're supposed to be gone. It's like, nope, I'm finishing.
I'm not going anywhere, you old coot.
Mm-hmm. And we see another power struggle within the dynamic between these two. And the chief is actually now trying to help him out. He's like, you're gonna die here. You're gonna mess around and you're gonna find out, and it's not gonna be pretty. And I'm actually starting to kind of like you, Virgil, because you're smart, you're dedicated,
Yeah.
and I see now that you're actually working for like the common good. So I don't want to see like anything bad happen to you.
Yeah, he's shifted from
Hello,
like, wanting to
local
get him out
Dutchman.
because of jealousy to more of a I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a good turning point for that character.
Mm-hmm. So now he goes into the diner, and this scene, like, it's good. Like I love this scene, but it's also a mess. Like there's so much happening because it's a run-down, dingy setting, and you have to deal with this creepy dude. Look at him. He's creepy
It's
looking.
like a lurch.
You know he smells of fry oil and he doesn't shower. And...
And
Probably
now that
lives
the
in his
chief
mom's
is here,
basement.
Officer Wood is he's kind of on edge too.
Yeah.
And so the tension and suspense has not abated at all up to this point in the movie.
And this guy's, I won't serve him.
Yep.
Yeah, I
He's
love
a
how
punk.
he could like literally punch the dude out like with like his jaws like made of glass. He's like, I'm not gonna serve him. Okay, bro, he could punch you easy.
Yeah, and you're starting to see the chief, like, especially from here on, kind of willingly take a back seat and just watch how Virgil's handling things instead of really trying to talk over him and make choices for him.
This guy's always
Brings back out the
goading this
pie.
guy
Like,
with
I
the
got
pie.
my pie.
And he shows it to him as he's leaving, but he can't say anything because he's trying to be on his best behavior around the chief.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Y'all talk for a second. I gotta blow my nose.
All right.
Don't blow your brains.
I won't.
My brain. Oh my god.
What was that?
Wow.
Mando.
There was like no filter there, and you just
None.
barely shut off the spigot right before that last word came out.
Yep.
It was just like,
Yep.
wait a second, I should have thought about this for 2 seconds before I said it.
Like 2
Oh
words
my
into it,
gosh.
inside you're screaming, "What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?"
Yep.
Beard, this is
Yep.
what I deal with on a daily
Oh,
basis.
shut up! You do the same thing. You do the same thing. I don't even want to hear it.
I at least think before I say words.
No, you don't. No, you
I
don't.
do too. I just
you
say what I
don't.
want.
Okay, well that's better because you actually think about the things you say, whereas sometimes I just say stupid stuff. Okay. What's up, Americus?
Yes,
Oh, we've got
yes,
the three
Americus.
amigos, Americus, Sark, and I. Yay!
Yay!
It hasn't quite been as crazy as I thought it was going to be.
Well, that's also because like I have to be on my best behavior at this moment because my hubby is in the room with me and he doesn't like it when I yell.
So he's not allowed in the room when you do the Ahsoka streams.
No.
I don't think he wants to be in the room when she does the Ahsoka streams.
No, I think he was like
not
he's
those.
Nobody wants to be in the room when I watch Ahsoka. I'm just screaming at the TV the whole time. I'm like, wow.
Hey there, America's 2000.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
Mando, you want some pie? Some pie?
I don't want that pie. I want some pie that don't have some flies that we have to hide.
And
The
that pie's been sitting
flies.
out in like 80-degree temperature for
Oh
6
yeah,
hours.
yeah, for a few days.
And this is where they all go do some detective work and try to recreate the path that Officer Wood took.
Mm-hmm. And like he's
And-
like, oh God, I actually have people that's gonna watch what I do at night.
Yep, this is not good.
And I like that move of the chief just silently slipping into the back seat because it puts Wood even more on edge.
It's like,
And- But it's also showing that he's putting faith in Virgil again.
Mm-hmm.
and he turns. He's like, "Why did you change your route?" And he's like, I didn't change my route." And he gets all sweaty.
Wait, well, he was
Well,
already sweaty. 'cause
sweaty-er.
It's Mississippi. Everybody's just hot and sweaty.
So he gets out and like, "Night, y'all. Later."
He just walks off into the darkness.
Well,
and then
he-
he's like,
he
oh
walks-
no.
And I love
The thing about this, he gets out and he walks down the road that is the normal route for Officer Wood,
Mm-hmm.
which means he
Yeah.
sees the naked lady or
Mhm.
the naked
Yeah.
underage lady.
and he's already been told about this lady, so he knows that
Uh-huh.
that's what this police officer was probably doing.
Yep.
And I love the the sheriff in the back is like, oh.
Yeah, so now he's going down a different route, wondering about his own officer.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
why?
And
is
once
So
this
he,
officer
again-
he
lying?
goes and
Once
checks
again,
his-
the chief is going off of gut instinct right now. That's what he's doing. Whereas Virgil is going off of detective police work.
yeah, he's actually, what's the word? Checking these people and moving on from them. Okay, this
Mhm.
guy did this. He's not the one who did the killing, and moves on to the next one. But the sheriff gets stuck on the suspect. So
Mhm.
he goes and checks his deputy's bank records.
Yup.
Again, kind of showing the corruption of the town because he's just like, yeah, this is fine. This is legal. I'll write you a note. And he's like, on the police letterhead. Yeah, on the police letterhead, whatever. And he has no intention of doing that
Mhm.
Yeah.
because he knows that this isn't anything he should be able to do.
Right.
Just throwing that small town weight around.
Mm-hmm.
There he
I
is,
got the guy.
smug again.
I got the guy. One of my own guys, but I got the guy.
I can't remember. Do they ever explain where he got? Oh wait, yeah, they do. They explain that where he got that money. That's right.
It was
'Cause
gambling, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think.
because
Yeah.
they're just going off the fact that he had a sizable deposit that happened coincidentally along the time that the murder victim was robbed.
Right.
Which to a small town that makes sense, right?
Yep. Like,
Yeah.
why
But
are
when
you
you
suspiciously
actually-
getting that?
Yeah, but when you actually stop and have actual evidence, it just blows it right out of the water.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Virgil once again proves to the chief, hey, don't just follow your gut, and why don't you just let me handle this? Like, help me out.
But at the same time, at least at this point in the story, both the chief and Virgil are kind of like dogs that have just bitten into a chew toy and they won't give it up because they're both going down the wrong paths.
Mm-hmm.
So even though Virgil knows that this isn't the guy, he is still making the mistake of going after Endicott because he wants to
Mhm.
prove a point.
Well, I don't think he's going after Endicott at this point, is he?
I at least got the impression that he was still tracking down that path for the most part.
I think he was just trying to
I think-
follow the path
I think
of the officer.
after that incident with Undercut, he kind of takes a step back and
Yes.
okay, I need to go at this at a different
Okay.
angle.
Yes, because he puts aside his personal vendetta, and he's like, okay, well, I was wrong. So if I'm wrong, I need to change it up and change it up fast because time is running out.
Mm-hmm. And an innocent person's probably going to get in trouble for this.
And I'm sure he doesn't like Officer Wood for the way Wood treated him in the beginning.
Right.
Mhm.
But I also don't think he has any ill will towards him either. And that's why he's like, Officer Wood is just an asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just a
Didn't
dumb
commit a
cop.
murder.
Yeah. He's just stupid.
Oh,
Language.
You got me.
So then this guy walks in with his sister, the floozy,
Mm-hmm.
in the window.
Uh-huh.
That's what we find out that she's the character.
Yeah.
Let me specify the character, not the actress, is 16. And
Yes.
Everyone
some
just
of the-
knows.
some of the jokes I made at the beginning of the
I don't
film.
like it. I don't like it. It is a good plot device. I don't like it at all. Don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I in my personal experiences, I have seen older brothers act like this when their younger sister's 21. He I have seen grown men act the same way as what he has acted when with their younger sisters that are full grown adults. So making the character 16, yeah, I understand the plot point and the plot device used, but you also could have just bumped her up to 18 and it would have been the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does add an ick factor to it, which makes
it does.
makes the viewer revolted, ew. Officer Wood did what? A grown
Right.
man did what?
And it further kind of shows the ugly side of some small town life.
Yep.
It's not
Mhm.
all idyllic and perfect.
Well, also with him being a police officer, that's even worse, man.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did I forget to mute?
Yeah, you did.
Sorry about that.
But it's I think the chief handles it very well
Oh yeah.
because
Yeah.
he's like, well, I'm starting to get more and more evidence now. But then all of a sudden there's that twist of doubt. And I really like the way the actress portrays this character because she's acting like a teenager, but she's also acting like a teenager from the 60s.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they did act like this.
Oh,
They were
yes.
very disrespectful to authority. They were very disrespectful in general. And
This
the
was the
way that she
60s.
speaks, the way that she speaks, that's how young folks spoke back then.
Well, and it's also I kind of got the feeling that it's she's speaking as a minor that has seen too much of the world.
Yes.
Yeah. So she tells him that she slept with the deputy, and she's pregnant.
Yep.
But then, spoilers, we learned that it's all just a fabricated lie later on. And that, going back and rewatching this and seeing her body language and the way that she executes her story, it's very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, you can tell
Look,
while
is
she's
this the
giving
brother
her
that was
statement-
supposed to fix the gate?
I think so.
I think so,
probably.
yes.
But like when she's giving her story, like if she was 16 and pregnant, like coming from like a family, like I grew up in the deep south, like if this had like it wouldn't have just been the older brother that walked in. The entire family would have made an appearance into the police station saying, we want we want the detective's head on a spike. Give him to us. We're going to treat him the way he should be treated.
Yeah, I kind of got the feeling that the way she said that he leaves her alone at night or whatever, and nobody mentioned parents, that parents must not have been around for some reason.
Yeah, probably not.
I got the feeling that maybe they were probably dead and he had taken on the kind of the big brother role of protecting his little sister, which is part of the reason he's just
is what you're saying.
Right.
Yes, pretty much.
Kind of, yeah.
But then also because she has no supervision.
Yeah, it just seems like the family that like all the neighbors know, that's you stay away. You don't go over there and play with those kids.
Yep. And because there's no supervision, she's gonna be a mischievous teenager and do whatever she wants.
I don't remember what this conversation was about. Y'all remember?
He says, so Virgil asks the Harvey, the inmate, what do you do if you knock up a girl in a small town? And Harvey makes a joke saying, you go to the local barber, you borrow one of the razors and slit your throat.
Yep.
But then Virgil presses more, and Harvey says, I know a guy who knows a girl that will get things done for you. And that means a
backdoor
a back room abortion clinic.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So Virgil once again is going to the lowlifes and he's doing detective work because let's face it, Harvey is not a good person. He's a vagabond. He is frowned upon in this small town, and that's why he was picked up in the first place. We must remember that. That's why he was picked up, and it was all going to be pinned on him. So
Virgil
he knows
wants to meet with this guy, and he's like, he won't meet with you. But he has to use his connections.
Yep. And he knows, and the only reason why Harvey does this is because he knows that Virgil is his best bet of getting out of here alive and seeing sunlight.
Mm-hmm. Like, I want to live. I must do this thing.
I mean, I know they've have lowered his charges to just robbery, but he's still sitting in the jail. And being the late 60s small town, they could just let him sit there for a long time before they ever did anything. And,
I mean, how many
they
days
could just turn around and put murder charges back on him anyway, just to get a scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he wants out.
So it's the pacing of this movie is perfect in my opinion. It gets a 10 out of 10 on pacing. The suspense of this movie, because you as the viewer, you're seeing that the police chief is just trying to pin it on somebody. He's just trying to get his golden goose and just trying to come out on top. And you're also seeing that Virgil wants to see justice be done, but he has all of these hurdles that he has to go through. And the main hurdle that he has right now is time, but an almost equally large hurdle is the racial profiling and racism that he's dealing with in this small town, and how that is stopping him from, like, he probably could have had this done short, like 2 days, easy, if he wasn't racially profiled and stopped from actually doing police work. And it just proves to you how good of a detective police officer he is, because he's still getting it done regardless of what they think of him.
I think here he was well, he will talk in a minute about like the victim being hit with pine or something to that nature. And so he's tracked out to this field being ready for planting with no, that's not planting, that's where the factory is going to be. That's right.
Yes, that's
and
the
so those are
pre-measured
landscaping
area for the factory.
Yeah, so they give pine landscaping like markers.
And right here, he says that the chief asks him, like, "You're just gonna park out in the middle of nowhere, and I could just come up behind you and whack you and kill you." And he says, "No, I would have heard you approach." So it had to have been somebody that was known to the victim.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Actual
wasn't
using some detective skills.
And he remembers from the autopsy that he did, he was killed from behind. So there's no way that he turned and looked at his assailant. He was hit from behind unaware. So once again, Virgil is showing the chief that he knows his stuff and that the chief needs to stop relying on good old boy tactics and actually think for once.
Yep. Actually use those 2 brain cells.
And here we go. This is also part of the racial profiling and racism, but also the time that he doesn't have. Because now they're hunting for him. They're actively hunting for him.
I like this. What's the chief say that? So he's staying with the chief's house, I guess, right now, so that he's out of sight. And the chief says something along the lines of, "I think you're the only other person to see inside this room or whatever." Which seems kind of out of place at first, but then he does go into the fact that he's basically a career cop that has not done anything other than be a cop. So he's got no family.
Just talking away, and I was muted the whole time.
We thought you were blowing your brains for that long.
Gosh dang it.
I
don't need your negativity, Ark. I don't need it.
I don't know, Jacob. Our egos were just being fed by the fact that we all assumed that you thought we were being brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just like,
wow,
oh,
he's
it's
really
just like,
good.
oh, just let them take over the show. That's fine.
Okay, now I gotta blow my.
But we know for a fact that the chief gave Virgil one more day. He gave him until the morning to get it done. And Virgil has already put all of his chips in one corner, and he's placing his bet, and he's waiting now to see if Harvey's informant and like Harvey's friend is going to pull through. And at first, when the cars roll up, I thought it was going to be the gang of racists that were going to try to lynch him.
The hanging mob.
But it turns out it was good because it was Harvey's friend that shows up.
Well, and that's really good filmmaking too, because they set you up to believe that. And with such little effort, just by showing those 2 cars driving out and about.
Are you back, Jacob? You're muted.
I almost went off talking again, and I was muted. If it's not raccoons, it's allergies.
That's right.
Both terrible.
I do like this. I do like this part. They kind of get a little tender moment from the sheriff. It's like, do you ever feel lonely?
Oh, you said like what? No lonelier than you.
Yeah.
And then that guard goes right back up.
Yep. Like the shield just goes right back up, and he's like, "Hey, we ain't friends here, boy." And I'm like, "Wow, okay, we're still." You're friendly, but you're not friends. Okay, you've set the boundaries again, and you've gone backwards. But he's still willing to see if Virgil can get the job done.
Yep.
And there's Harvey's friend right there.
Harvey the Puka? What?
It's little things like that too. Where the chief has the door barely open, so he's not showing that Virgil is there.
Mhm.
That's part of the reason he's there is to protect him. Even
Yeah,
though
like
he's
when he
kind of
says
being a
to him, like,
jerk.
where are you going? He's like, why you can't go? He's like, what does that mean?
Means
just
that
give me
good old boys
just
don't
give
need
me
to
till
know
the
about
morning.
this.
Just give me
Yep.
to the morning.
Mm-hmm. And it's also a nice little shot because the sheriff just took a racial shot at Virgil, and Virgil returned the favor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're also seeing character growth with the sheriff, with the chief, because if Virgil had taken a racial shot at the chief earlier in the movie, the
He would
chief would
have
have just
decked
locked him
him
up.
probably.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would have beat the crap out of him, maybe even have shot him, and would have said that it was self-defense, and probably gotten away with it.
Yep.
So we are seeing character development still.
But he's
with the chief.
even they had that little moment and he's like, the wall went back up. This look on his face is like he respects him now. Because he is good at what he does.
So then we go Harvey's this is the the gang of racists. They're on the prowl. They are hunting him.
Yeah.
So once again, it's that time is of the essence. You're running out of time. You need to solve it now.
Yeah. It's like, you go home now. I'll find my way.
So then we meet the local lady that gets rid of unwanted pregnancies. And we can't show the dialogue because we'd get struck, but
Yeah.
I love the dialogue right here.
Yeah, me too.
Because we're mainly seeing white characters talking to white characters. We're seeing white characters talk to Virgil, a black man. We're seeing the dynamic back then, but then all of a sudden, like, of course, Virgil talked to the mechanic who was also black, and they had a good dialogue. They showed
Yeah.
the culture.
The dialogue with him is easy.
Yes.
Can let down that wall a little bit.
Yeah. There's a switch. Like you saw the mechanic, the black man that was the mechanic, talk to the sheriff and how he spoke to the sheriff, and then boom, when the sheriff leaves, the wall comes down and he talks a different way to Virgil. And then the same thing happens here. There's no white people around, so she's going to talk to Virgil a different way, and Virgil's going to talk to her a different way. Because we've seen how Virgil is a detective when he's talking to white people, and now we're seeing Virgil as a detective talking to a black person. And it's very, very, very eloquently done. I love it.
Yeah, me too. He's like, I just want 2 words, a name.
First and last.
Give me a name.
And the great thing about this, since we're coming to the end of the movie, right? The great thing is she doesn't have to give him a name. She doesn't, but she also doesn't have to, because the abortion was going to take place that night, and the underage lady is coming to the shop to give her money, and he does do some detective work because she tells him that it was $100 for the abortion. That's what it would have cost. And there it is right there. Boom. She's shocked that, oh no, I've been caught.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't supposed to be here.
And she's, wanting that $100. $100 is a lot of money back then.
Yeah,
And-
I think the
and
only
so-
equivalent is like maybe it's like 1,000 for us, if not more. 1,500.
So she runs off, and we get a really watch. I gotta play this. I gotta play that. Watch him. Slide. Oh yeah.
Just slide to the left.
So then everything just comes together here. You got the girl and the guy. and then those group of guys show up.
Mm-hmm.
And it all happens so fast, you know, that he's got, okay, she needs $100. And he's like, he says that the diner guy is paying her to, you know, to help him frame the other guy, the deputy.
It happens so fast within a blink of an eye. And it shows how fast talking Virgil is and how quick witted he is. He's like, you got it all wrong. Check her purse. There's going to be $100 in there. She was going to pay for an abortion. And sure enough, there is. And then it makes everything else Virgil says about the diner boy just click.
Yeah.
Completely refocuses all the energy that had been on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the diner dude shoots the brother, and then Virgil takes him down. And that's that.
And really,
And that's it.
As much as like Virgil originally was kind of going after big names in town that might have done this, it is like the most nobody of nobody in that town.
Yup.
It's the slimy diner guy.
Yup.
Yeah. No more
Remind me why
pies for you.
he killed the dude again, or it was an accident, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, even though I just watched this, like his motive is so dumb. But as with most killings, the motive is dumb.
Yeah.
Like, so I got to hand it
And
to him there.
you know, you think it's just this big conspiracy at first that, you know, nobody wanted this guy to come in and change their town. So somebody big killed him off, when at the end it's just a petty crime turned into a murder.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That led to another murder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's probably, back then, I think he might get the electric chair.
Oh,
Yeah,
easy.
probably.
Easy. If not, he gets hanged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Because I don't know
so,
if the small town like this would have enough money to pay for the electric chair.
and this scene right here, this ending scene, the chief driving Virgil back to the train, dropping him off. He's carrying his suitcase. I love it. I love
Yes.
it. Like this,
Yeah.
this just showing the growth between these two and the dynamic that has developed. And he hands him the suitcase, and then he shakes his hand, and he's still chewing his gum to this day. And as he's walking, like before he walks away, he says, "All right, bye-bye." That's all he says, and he starts
take
walking
care.
away.
I
Take care,
love it.
Virgil.
No big speech or anything. Everything you need to know is seen in the actions.
Yeah, and then he stops and he turns around and he says, "You take care, you hear?" And he smiles, and Virgil smiles, and you know those two are now friends. And the
Yeah.
movie just perfect cherry on top ending right there.
Yup.
And it
You-
ends with
you don't
in the
get-
heat of the night.
Yeah, and you don't get those. You don't get those good endings that often. The ones that just make
No.
you smile.
Mm-hmm.
You know, after watching this, I'm kind of curious to see how the series picks up. If it just, you know, picks up, or does Virgil come back to town, or what?
I haven't seen the
Be
TV series, so I
I'm
wouldn't know.
gonna have to check the series out.
I believe the series is on Amazon Prime right now.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
cool.
that's what some people in the chat were saying, that it's on Amazon Prime.
I'll be right back.
All right. gonna
I'm never
Don't-
gonna live that
don't
down,
say
am
it.
I?
Don't say it.
I was about to say it again.
Oh my god, I'll never live that
I mean-
down.
Just in general, as with pretty much any time Jacob's invited me on to talk about a movie that I hadn't seen before, every time they've been great watches, and this is no
Absolutely.
exception. I would have watched this otherwise, and really enjoyed it. Love the characters in it. I agree with what you said earlier, Ark, about pacing. The pacing is slow, but it is a purposeful, deliberate, contributing to the story slow. It's
Mhm.
not boring and it just slow for the sake of extending runtime. It lets the tension and these very deliberate pauses and dialogue really sit and sink in.
Mhm.
And I love it. This is a great film.
Yeah.
For me, like I completely agree with you, Beard. For me, it's kind of like when you're cooking food and you put the meat in a slow cooker and you just simmer it all day. And that tension and suspense that is built up throughout the movie, it just completely like tenderizes that meat, and that is what you get from the movie. That's the way that I look at it.
I like that.
And
Yeah.
they don't make movies like this anymore. They really don't. And that's a damn shame. The closest movie off the top of my head within the past, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, the one that has good suspense and good, like, you don't know what's going to happen next, Bullet Train. With
I actually haven't seen that.
yeah,
I
with
haven't
Brad
seen
Pitt.
that either.
It's I love it. I love that movie. Fantastic movie. But that to me, those two have almost an equal amount of suspense. This one is more of a detective style suspense. The other one is more of like an action thriller suspense, similar to like John Wick.
Yeah.
That type of action. But suspense is suspense. Like you're gripping your seat. You're on your tippy toes and you're waiting to see what's happening next. That's what I look for in a suspenseful movie. And this in the heat of the night has massive rewatchability. You can watch this back to back and still want to watch it a third time. So that to me is a plus. It is a good movie if it has rewatchability.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
that's
very
right.
rarely rewatch movies nowadays, especially.
Yeah, it's rare today. New movies. It's just, I mean, I forget what movie it was that I just watched once, and everybody said, "Oh, it's so good, so good." Well, if it's so good, how come I only watched it one time?
Was it
Mhm.
Oppenheimer?
If it's a good movie, you will watch it over and over again. No, I haven't seen Oppenheimer.
And that's like, if it's very similar to like, if that's a good TV show, do you rewatch it? Is it a good book? Do you reread it? All of like being able to, now, of course, you're not going to be able to get that first time watching it ever again. You can only watch something once for the first time. But what makes a good movie, in my opinion, what makes a good movie great is being able to rewatch it and still love the twists and the turns in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well,
Americus, I'm not reading your comment.
Nope.
Nope, me neither. Yep,
Yeah.
I saw it. React. Move on.
That's my editor, guys. Americus is my editor. Let's go.
I completely agree with what you're saying about the rewatchability of stuff, and that's what brings you like to define stuff. And I was thinking of stuff like right behind me. I've got Stargate that I watch all the time. Of the books, I've got Ender's Game, and all of those books that I read frequently.
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely kind of want to go back and do a proper rewatch of this film, and even take a look at the TV show, because several people in the chat have mentioned that it was pretty good too.
Yeah,
I remember my father watching the TV show when I was growing up. So
I remember it being on in reruns, but I don't think I ever watched it.
When you said that we would be going over In the Heat of the Night, I was like, we're going to be reviewing a TV show? Okay. But then you said, no, the movie. And I was
we'll
like,
be here all week.
All right.
Right.
I thought the same thing until I thought, I'm going to look this up first. Oh, yeah, it is a film.
Yeah. Yeah, funny thing, you mentioned Brad Pitt in that movie. Me and Brad Pitt grew up in the same town.
Oh. Well, fancy.
Huh? Yeah, big deal.
I'm
Can
sure I
y'all
have
hear
some
me?
sort of celebrity thing
Yeah,
that
we
I
can
could
hear ya.
say like that,
Yeah,
but
Okay.
I don't know what.
Yeah, I can't say that,
So, that
Jacob.
was great.
So. The town I grew
That's
up in didn't have anybody.
I mean, it still
Well, that's
technically
good.
doesn't.
It had
true.
Arkasule.
True.
You count that as
true.
somebody?
Wow.
All right, just gonna sit back and watch again.
Wow.
I mean, you're the one who left it, and if you left it, it could. I mean, did it really lose or gain something?
Wow. You're saying that it gained
Gosh.
something? Is that what
I
you're
didn't
saying
say
now?
that. I said I asked a question. Did it lose or gain something? You tell me.
This is why I drink, fellas. This is why
I
all of
mean,
my friends, all
Why's
of
the
my
rum always
supposed
gone? Oh,
friends,
Mando,
just
that's why.
yeah.
you bring it upon yourself. You open yourself up, and we're like, yes, we get to smack you. You've opened yourself up for us to smack you.
Yep. Now everybody knows where I grew up.
Well, at least it wasn't Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. Yeah. Lisa wasn't Yankee.
Well, that was it.
So
that was the movie.
Yeah, that was a great movie. Yeah. Thank y'all for coming on and talking about it. It's good.
It was fun.
Cool
It was
that it was Beard's first watch of it. And
It always is whenever you invite me on a show, which is, it's great because I get to see a lot of things that I enjoy that I otherwise probably wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age where there's really nothing great coming out.
That's true.
No. Yeah. So who's got something to plug? Mando.
Well, you guys will be able to see me on Roman's channel this Thursday talking about Ashoka again.
Me as well. Me as well.
And then Friday will be my Sea of Thieves stream where Arkasule, Americus, possibly Gibbons, and I will sail the high seas and be pirates, and we'll shoot Ark out of a cannon again.
Yeah, lovely times.
Hey, you shot
I'm
my
just gonna
dog
get
out of a
drunk
cannon.
in the game and throw up on her character. That's all I'm gonna do.
I don't understand.
Oh.
Why do you do that? Like, that is your whole, why? There are other things to do in the game other than getting drunk and throwing up everywhere. It's gross. It's disgusting. And you aim
What?
for me. It's weird.
That reaction right there, I guarantee, I haven't seen it, but I guarantee that is why he does it.
Probably.
Yes. Yes.
You hit the nail right on the head, Beard. It's even better when Americus is like, "Oh, good Lord, stop it!" And I'm just like, "No, you say stop. I'm not gonna." And then if you say I don't care, I'm gonna continue.
Anyway, then this
So
Saturday is Literary Souls, where I am doing the
Cool.
third book of the Witcher series. I think it's Blood of Elves. So, yeah.
I might be there. I don't know.
You're supposed to be my co-host, and you're like never there. Like I need to get a new
am-
co-host.
Wow. I mean, you're not wrong, but I am the co-host to Literary Souls. I do the podcast with Mando when I remember.
It's great. It's so great. Like I don't know sometimes if he's gonna be there or not, and I'm just like, I hope that we'll see if he comes on. I hope he knows what he's talking about.
Hey, I mean, most of the time when I come on, I save the show because your StreamYards wants to kick you out.
That happened twice, Ark. Just because
Yeah.
StreamYards kicks me out doesn't mean that.
I'm probably moving away from StreamYard, by the way.
Uh,
They've done some things that are making me mad.
I know that there is a thing called Restream as well. I think that's what they use.
Okay.
I'll
I
look
think
into
the cannolis have tried Streamlabs. I don't know what
Yeah.
kind of results they've had from that.
Streamlabs is good, but you can't really have guests on like this.
Really?
It's very difficult. So
Well, that
one of the
stinks.
ways I know like a workaround for that is if you want to use like OBS or Streamlabs, which they're kind of the same thing, but also not. I prefer OBS, the original one, not Streamlabs. Then you just go into a Discord and you just like focus on the Discord call. That's what you would do.
Okay.
But yeah, StreamYards, come on, fix your stuff, man. Come on, what are you doing?
Yep, do it. So, Ark, what do you have coming?
Okay, what do I have coming on? Maybe that's a gigantic, bold letter. Maybe Literary Souls. Where you can hear me and Mando either completely agree with one another or bicker back and forth. It's either or. Oh, Mando left.
Oh no, there she goes.
Mando left. Mando got kicked out.
Oh, to talk about that, and this it happens. Wow.
I called it. StreamYards kicks Mando's out all the time. Oh my gosh.
I hate you, Ark. I hate you. I don't even know if it's or not, but I hate you. This is your fault. I blame you.
He's got a little Mando voodoo doll.
I do.
He's in league. He's in league with the raccoons.
Yes, I am. They are my minions. They do as I bid. So I might. I'm gonna try to be on Literary Souls more often, but like she's talking about Narnia. I like Narnia, but come on, she's talking about The Witcher. I've read the Witcher books. I love them, but I mean, it's been a minute. Also, she's a Harry Potter fan. Harry Potter. Come on. There's so many better books than Harry Potter.
You know what, there are, but I still like Harry Potter, so screw you.
I don't like it when mom and dad fight.
No, but Literary Souls. There's also I stream on Twitch occasionally. That's at Arkasule, same as what you see on the screen right now. Arkasule. You can find me on Twitter. I am extremely active in my Discord server. That's where you can normally find me. And if you would like an invite to the server, just DM Mando or Jacob or DM me on Twitter, and we will get that worked out. And then also I have a project in the works for my YouTube channel. And I should say I have several projects, but this one I want to focus on. You take baby steps, focus on one thing at a time.
Actually posting a video?
Yeah, actually posting a video that you're not going to delete later on. Yeah. And also like another idea that I've been tossing around with Mando is a Rings of Power season 1 watch along. I'm not going to like it at all. It's not going to It's not going to be live streamed.
Oh, the humanity!
Guarantee that.
That's what I say. The humanity! Having to watch that.
Yeah, it's going to be pre-recorded, and I think I'm going to have Americus edit it because it's going to be a lot of drunken rants, really, from my end. Maybe from Mando too.
I'm just going to cry.
Yeah.
Laugh at it. Make fun of it. Laugh at it.
So there's that project that I could talk about, but then there's a secret project that I'm working on with two friends of mine, a buddy of mine named Boba and a buddy of mine named Cream NATO. Can't talk about that one yet, though. That one is pretty fun, actually. Not like the Rings of Power watch party. That's going to be sad. Yeah, it's all good. It's great stuff. My life is finally starting to calm down for once in a long time, and I'm enjoying it. So
that's good. Good. Beard, what do you got coming?
I think the only thing I've got set in stone right now is Thursday Ahsoka streams with Roman of the Empire, where we all suffer together. It's our support group.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But you never really know when I'm going to pop up. Don't have a show of my own. I just leech off of other folks. So if anybody wants to be kept up to date on that, on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it, it's at Beard of Liberty, and or have political and media opinions that don't necessarily make me the most popular person in every crowd.
No, me neither. And same for me. Tuesday, Roman. Ahsoka. Lots of laughs.
Uh,
cringing
little-
than laughs.
A little bit of crying.
When Joker
Yeah,
and I
a
are
little
on a
bit.
panel together, there's always laughs and scissoring, apparently.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Moving on.
oh, poor Jacob.
So I have nothing Saturday. I won't have anything Saturday because I was lazy and didn't get on the ball about getting guests on. So there won't be anything Saturday. But next week, I kick off my October Halloween shows with Young Frankenstein.
Ah,
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Frankenstein.
that's right.
So that's what I have coming.
I like that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Well, thank y'all again for coming on and hanging out. And
Absolutely.
thanks to the chat. Thanks to the chat for hanging with us. And we will catch y'all in the streams. Later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.